I need justice. I'm not worrying about I'm not going to sue anybody. I'm involved with $1 trillion lawsuit against these drug companies that made the vaccine. And today is the last letter of my alphabet soup, the letter Z. Z is for Zion, the top of the mountain, the top of all knowledge. And on this broadcast during the last 26 weeks, I've done this Food for Thought segment for 3 minutes. I opened with some of my poetry and a list of topics about things on this earth needing to be addressed. My intention is to post the comments on my YouTube channel after editing many of the interruptions. I mentioned zebra crossings 6 months ago. What's the problem, you might ask? They've been around longer than most of us here and those listening. The answer is obvious to those who have been hit by a bike or a car or even a truck. Some drivers do not pay attention. Solutions, stoplights on more of them. Educate your children that even if it has a green man, to make sure it isn't a car coming. Drill it into them. Some drivers are careless idiots. The zoological preservation of all species. I am a self-taught synecologist and I've studied our human species for 45 years. It's the effect our species has on the environment and the effect the environment has on our species. One of my conclusions, our oceans are extraordinarily dangerous. Solution, move inland. The final word for my new millennium, zit brain. For all the zit brain medical professionals that misdiagnose illnesses, dentists making unqualified assumptions, not even looking for fracturing in a bone. My injury was misdiagnosed, 2 dentists, 1 dental specialist, 4 doctors, 7 triage nurses. None of them realised I had a serious medical condition. Zit brain is for the politicians grasping at straws, gambling so-called savings accounts on international markets. It's also for those boards who are passing the buck by blaming others for systemic faults in their own backyard. By example, the Exxon Valdez company. Next week will actually be the final part for Food for Thought, where I'll be reading all the words from the new millennium. And don't forget to go to my YouTube account. You go then Food for Thought, and you use zeros for the O's. And whilst I was doing a quick look for it, the AIL popped up with the problems facing humanity's future, and there are intricate web of essential systemic challenges as it moves into the future. Environmental ecological crisis, and it named itself number 2, artificial intelligence. The dissolution of the illegal state of Israel, that's what caused those shootings on the beach in substitution for what you're doing. I'll give it to my pilot when I get on my private jet, and I'll ask him to throw it out the window with Pago. Jesus wasn't born on the 25th of December. The date of the nativity came from John back in the year 300. He brought in the date of the nativity to correspond with the pagan worship of the summer and winter solstice, peak of summer and the peak of winter. That's where the horoscope stick is on, basically the midnight 22nd of March. So this is Christmas, and what have you done? Those were the words made famous by John Lemon. Another year is almost over, and billions of people all around the world have sorted their Christmas festivities for this nativity as they have for many before. I am awaiting the end, realising that Christmas should not be celebrated upon the 25th of December. So this is thus a shout out to all those ignorant people ignoring all of that free advice they've been given throughout this year. Acknowledging their pathetic anti-Semitic rhetoric, I realise and accept that intellectually challenged individuals are incapable of comprehending most of the intellectually advanced information presented. I appreciate that lovely little old lady who went and got me a coffee whilst the volunteers and those employed by the Salvation Army were having a chat. Christmas lunch tomorrow at the Salvation Army on London Street. Keep in mind that it's only for those who've paid for it. I acknowledge the Salvation Army employee who came out to the door to tell me it was closed for the next 30 days. No one is here, he stated. Looking behind him, 3 others, he told me where to go for food as they were closed. I asked him this: so what if Jesus showed up? Would you go make him a coffee? A sour-looking scorn came on his face and he replied, really? He then left, and as the door closed, I responded, so I take it that's a no, you wouldn't make Jesus a coffee? Walking along the footpath Friday night, and a vendor's van had parked on the footpath. I climbed over the garden to get around it. I noticed they had left their window open, so I asked as to whose van it was. The man acknowledged me. He came out, and I suggested he move his van forward where he wouldn't block the footpath, and advised him to wind his window up so someone might steal his bag. He chose to ignore me. Then some lady who identified herself as a Hamilton City Council worker told me he didn't have to move his van. She was too dumb to realise you cannot actually get any permits to block a footpath. Arrogance of self-righteous hypocrites. I respond with, I'll try and find someone with an IQ. However, Teresa wasn't on duty, and her colleagues are not very great at speaking English. The US murder rate in 2023 was 4.8, New Zealand's was 2.6. In 2025, the US murder rate at the moment is 7.7. Israel's murder rate in the last 2 years is 23 people per 100,000. That's if you go by their statistics. If you go by the International Security Alliance's statistics, it's 50 per 100,000. 87,000 murdered, they say, in Palestine. That's 1,582 people per 100,000 murdered in the last 2 years. But if you go by the International Security Alliance statistics, 190,000 people, that's 3,455 people in the last 2 years per 100,000 have been murdered. Now, new millennium, a quick rundown on what I've done in the last 26 weeks. Arnerican means to make stuff up, pretend to go to the moon, pretend to have nuclear weapons, includes pathological liars and false flags. Donald Trump is an Arnerican. Anti-Israel adjective, to be against pathetic anti-Semitic rhetoric. Bugbrain, noun, literally means to have a smaller brain than a bug. Cgitele was an acronym, slang for CGI rockets, televised by the media as fake news, fake North Korean rockets, fake Iranian rockets, fake Iron Dome rockets. DUMBFLICKS, noun, for all current nations' military personnel worldwide. Expert, acronym, X for a has-been, spurt is for a drip under pressure. Fargoats, noun, for all the world leaders involved in the murder of children. Gumhead, a noun for arrogant fools not listening, ignoring what was said. Homo sicko, sick of homosexuals bleating about their mental illness. Islam. Title, Jesus, the Lamb of God, also known as El Messiah Isa. IDF, this new millennium, it now stands for this, insane dumb flicks. Judaism, to be like Judas, tell lies, narc on people, support crime. Duelist, noun, to murder children, liars plus lies equals Israel. Jah free, name, Jah, one of God's names. Free, meaning peace. King's way, do what Jesus would do. This is the King's way. Law, noun, God's law is love, and nothing separates you from that. Margoat, slang for those arrogant ignoramuses who ignore Christ. Numbnuts, acronym for intellectually chubbules, numb mind. Omega, oh my ancient giddy aunt, for delusional presidents. Peace Man, title for all the future peace officers upon earth, quantum-minded to think outside the sphere about the future. Rectomite, slang for all the international military personnel everywhere. Sashiites, slang for the SAS military personnel dancing to gunfire. Terrorfornication refers to the international media's fake news. Undersatan, to savour us the things of men, not those of God. Vaporholics, slang for addicts who are now vaporising sugars. Warless, adjective. Now, that's an old word. It's been around for a long time, but this is our future. One nation under God, an all-world government. Ex-state, this world is for all of the soon-to-be dissolved nations. Yabulon, that's the new millennium spelling for their Freemason idol. Zitbrain, acronym for arrogant doctors, pathetic politicians and CEOs. SAS now stands for stupid, arrogant simpletons. CIDF, criminally insane, dumb flicks. That was food for thought, people. 2025, so I'll be speaking in tongues. Kia ora, ko Jafri, aho, kia tau te rangi Māori, aroha te atua kia koe. That was Māori. I just said, g'day, may there be peace, and God is love. Italian, Pace Mirak, ala yo hokbok. Pace Pate, Bon Natale, Bon Novo Anno, which is Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in Italian. La pace sia contigo, mac freedom optiovis, which is Afrikaan. Zhang Hia Ping Hong Zi Ni Xiong Shang De Jufuni. That was mainly Mandarin and a little bit of Cantonese. This is from Holland. De Here Zegen Job, Freedom Mitjo. French, Cula Pe Suevexu. Spanish, Hasau Geser, La Paz Esté Contigo. Catalonia, La Pau Signe Ontu. Polish, Pokoi Agish Bonje Atabu. German, Frida se mit dir, die Here Zagan Yokot. Allahu Akbar, Subhanaka Allahumma. Haya Allah Salah, Haya Allah Falah. La Hula wa la Quata illa Billah. Islam Alif Lamra, Agneste, which was Latin. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, ana al-Masais al-Rasulullah. Alofa le atua ia oe, Samoan. Campavo Gladio Vici, Pompus Mentis, that was again the Latin. Rongo take, rongo ponomo, ana nimini hoja 3 te whakamatunga para he te nui matakite. May the peace be with you all. Thank you. That was Food for Thought 2025, and I'll be putting that on the YouTube.